So let's start bringing up the rest of these faders. So I'm just going to start off by bring those down. So I'm kind of bringing, if you look on the mixer, about 2/3 of the way up is a solid white line, and that's really where we want to be sort of trying to not get any higher than that for the time being. So I'm just going to select all these actually and just bring those down a little bit. Just going to bring it down and just going to play these all together. And just keep my eye on the outputs there. So you hear already that this mix is a little bit all over the place. There's some sounds that are loud, so you know we're going to have to start moving the volumes a little bit. So let's just have a look before we get into the mixing the levels. I want to set some effects for these. So there's two ways of adding effects. If you look on the channel strip, you'll see audio effects here, and these are called inserts, and then we've got sends, and these go to what we call buses. So I'm just going to take I'm going to start with the snare actually. So let's just click on the snare, and I'm going to go to bus, and I'm going to click on bus 1. That will bring up this thing here, auxiliary 1. So this dial here will send to auxiliary 1, okay, and in auxiliary 1 I'm going to put in no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to click here and put in a reverb, and I'm going to come down to Space Designer, and then I'm going to click on stereo. So all I'm doing is clicking and holding, okay, just click and hold, come down, reverb, stereo reverb there. Gothic Church, let's see what it defines to. Let's put in go to live spaces. So I'm just clicking at I'll put it on the screen here. I'm just clicking on the large spaces there on this little tab up here. User default. It might say something different on yours. Don't worry too much about that. You've got loads and loads of reverbs here. Let's have a look at Prince Hall 1. So this shows you how long that reverb will be. So this is going to be a really long kind of echo, like it, not so much an echo, but reverberation in a room, in a space, which will go on for 3.9 seconds. So let's click on that. Let's see what it does to the snare. I'm just going to turn that down again. Okay, for the time being, I'm just going to mute everything else out apart from the snare and my voice. Let's start adding this snare in. Let's start turning up that bus. Okay, can you hear that? The big reverb on there. I could even, if I wanted to, with this little voiceover, go to bus, and now it's got something on there. Now the bus 1 says aux 1, so let's just click that, and then I can put a reverb on my voice and make me sound like I'm in a big church hall. So let's just take that off for the time being. Okay, so I might want that on a number of tracks. So I'm going to select all the tracks here that I might want the bus on, and I'm going to click. I'm going to go bus 1. And I'm also going to do that now. If you click underneath, can you see that little bit there? Click there. I'm going to go bus 2, and bus 2 doesn't have anything at the moment, and I'm also going to click on make bus 3, and look, it's made these auxiliary tracks over here. So this is, let's rename that reverb. Let's get into a good practice of naming everything, and this is going to be small reverb, small rev, and this is going to be delay. Okay, so we haven't added a reverb to this one yet, so let's click on here and plug in a reverb. So I'm going to go to Space Designer Stereo again, and this time I am going to select small reverb, rooms, let's call drum booth 1. Let's give that a go. And I'm also going to come here, and this time I'm going to go to delays, stereo delay, stereo. Okay, and that will bring this up, and we'll have a play around with that in a little while. So I'm going to just bring this up and get a bit of a beat going. Okay, so we got that huge hall reverb. So this time I'm going to put in okay, so that's got that. This is going to this one. I'm turning on auxiliary 2, and that is sending it to this channel here. I want something a little bit bigger than that, so let's go to rooms. That's more like it. So let's just roll that back a little bit. Put a little bit on the bass drum as well. Bring in the hi-hat. Okay, at the moment this shaker's not playing because, look, it's not in the mix at the moment, so here it comes. I'm just going to pull that down a little bit, get that mix going. Okay, if you're unsure what the reverb's doing, you can mute it out. So it's just giving it a feel like it's in kind of in an environment in a room. So that's just adding a little bit of room reverb to those drums there. I didn't bother with the crash. You might want to have a play around with that, see if the crash really needs it.